Chapter 1. The Ancient World and the Birth of Paacha centuries ago. When the world was still young and the sky seemed closer to the earth, there existed a mighty kingdom called Paacha. This land rested on the shoulders of towering mountains where cold winds sang through the day and even the silence of the night whispered old stories. The name Paacha was not given by any king. It was given by the land itself. For every soul who lived there belonged to the earth with love and devotion. At the heart of this kingdom stood a colossal palace made of deep blue stones. It was said that these stones had risen from the bottom of ancient seas and carried memories older than mankind. The ruler of this palace was King Darim, a man whose eyes held fire and whose heart carried the calm of oceans. He had claimed the throne at a young age, yet his wisdom exceeded far beyond his years. The people did not call him a king. They called him their guardian, for he loved his people more than he loved the crown. Paacha prospered under Darim's rule. Fields ripened in golden waves, rivers flowed like silver threads, and children ran through the streets, laughing so purely it felt like sunlight. But beneath the kingdom lay a secret no one dared confront. The elders often whispered that under the foundations of the palace, a darkness coiled like a sleeping serpent. It cannot be seen, only felt, sometimes as a chill, sometimes as an echoing heartbeat. Darim always brushed these tales aside, saying the earth was alive and all living things must breathe and tremble. Chapter 2. Darim's youth and the prosperity of Paacha. Darim's youth was a strange blend of wisdom and curiosity. He played with the children of the village, laughed freely, and yet often found himself lost in deep thought. Sometimes he would climb the mountain peaks and look down at the kingdom, watching the light of his people and feeling a quiet sense of responsibility. His eyes reflected a light that others could not understand. His words carried weight beyond his age. The people of Paacha were deeply connected to their land. They worked the fields, fished in the rivers, and sang songs that echoed across the valleys. Darim grew up listening to the elders' tales of the mountains, the winds, and the ancient forces that slept beneath the earth. These stories laid the foundation for his wisdom and compassion. When Darim ascended the throne, he faced challenges greater than his years could handle. Yet he met each one with determination, protecting the land, ensuring the prosperity of his people, and guarding against both enemies and natural calamities tested him every day. He expanded schools, built libraries, and encouraged the pursuit of knowledge, believing that the growth of the kingdom lay not only in wealth but in wisdom. Despite the prosperity, a subtle unease grew within him. Night after night, he dreamed of the palace's foundations turning to sand and a whispering smoke rising from beneath the earth. Each time he woke, the whisper lingered in his heart, a reminder that not everything in the world could be controlled. Chapter 3. The first signs of darkness. Years of peace could not hide the stirrings beneath Paacha. The rivers sometimes slowed as if in fear, crops wilted mysteriously, and birds fell silent. People dismissed these signs as minor changes in nature, but Darim knew better. He summoned the elders and asked them to explain the strange events. The elders exchanged heavy glances before revealing that long ago, a darkness had been imprisoned beneath the mountains. Generations had hidden it, for it could not be destroyed, only contained. And now the prison was weakening. Darim felt the weight of responsibility. His people's fear grew as rivers receded and fields grew pale. He traveled to the mountain valleys, observing the strange disturbances firsthand. At night, the same smoke from his dreams appeared, whispering that this was the ancient force seeking freedom. Darim understood then that the safety of Paacha depended not on ignoring fear, but on confronting it. Chapter 4. The first storm and the palaces crumbling. One day, the mountains darkened with gathering clouds. The wind grew wild, and the air thrummed with an unseen energy. Thunder cracked across the sky, and lightning split the darkness into jagged streaks of light. Suddenly, the palace's oldest wall split open, sending dust and black smoke spiraling into the sky. Soldiers ran to Darim, fear shaking their voices. The earth itself seemed to cry. Standing atop the palace roof, Darim saw the smoke crawling across the ridges. For the first time, he accepted the warnings of his dreams. The storm continued through the night, shaking the very foundation of the kingdom. Rivers slowed, animals hid, and the people trembled in their homes. Darim called his most trusted companions and declared he would descend into the mountain and face the darkness himself. The journey would be perilous, but he could not allow fear to consume his land. Chapter 5. The journey into the heart of darkness. Darim and his loyal companions entered the mountain tunnels. The air grew heavier, damp and cold, carrying the scent of ancient stones. Every step was perilous. Rocks shifted, and strange sounds echoed as though the earth itself were alive. Darkness seemed to press against their hearts, testing their courage. In tunnels where no light penetrated, Darim focused inward, gathering memories of his people, the laughter of children, the golden fields, the trust and loyalty of those who depended on him. These memories became a spark within him, a small flame of hope that illuminated the darkness. Finally, they reached a vast chamber, carved with symbols of eyes that seemed to follow their every move. There, the darkness waited. It had no form, no face, only a living shadow that pressed on the soul. It whispered in a voice that was felt rather than heard, claiming what had once been its own. Darim drew his sword, but steel meant nothing. The darkness swallowed it. He realized the battle could only be fought with spirit and resolve. Closing his eyes, he summoned every memory, every act of love and protection for Paacha. The spark grew into a light that spread through the chamber, striking the shadow. The darkness writhed, shrank, and dissolved like mist under sunlight. The ancient door slammed shut behind it. Chapter 6. Victory and restoration. Exhausted, Darim returned to the surface. The sky cleared, rivers glimmered, and birds returned to the branches, singing once more. People bowed before him, but Darim lifted them, saying the victory belonged not to him, but to Paacha itself. The kingdom rebuilt, stronger and wiser. Festivals returned, children's laughter filled the streets, and knowledge and art flourished. Darim taught his people that true enemies are often hidden within the heart, and courage and hope are the most powerful weapons. Chapter 7. Legacy and eternal lessons. Generations later, Paacha continued to prosper, not because the darkness was permanently gone, but because hope and unity had been preserved. Darim's teachings endured, reminding everyone that fear can only be overcome through love, courage, and the strength of spirit. The kingdom of Paacha remained a shining example that the greatest battles are fought within, and the light of hope can banish even the oldest shadows. Chapter 8. The guardianship of Darim. Even after the first confrontation with the darkness, Darim did not grow complacent. He walked among his people daily, ensuring their safety and spreading knowledge of courage and wisdom. He built new schools and libraries, trained young leaders, and taught that vigilance, compassion, and hope were more powerful than armies or weapons. The mountains, rivers, and fields of Paacha were restored to their former beauty, but now every stone and tree carried the memory of the darkness that once threatened them. The people learned to respect the land and the unseen forces beneath it, living in harmony and alertness. Darim's presence reminded them that true guardianship required both courage and love, and that hope must always be kept alive to keep the darkness at bay. Chapter 9. Eternal hope and the lasting light. Years passed, and Darim grew older, yet his spirit remained strong. Paacha flourished for generations, not because the darkness was destroyed, but because hope had been nurtured. The people celebrated the lessons learned, that the greatest enemy is often hidden within the heart, that fear can be defeated by unity, courage, and love, and that the light of hope can outshine even the oldest shadows. The kingdom's rivers gleamed in the sunlight, the fields rippled with golden waves, and children's laughter filled the streets. Darim's name was remembered not only as a king, but as a guardian, a protector whose courage and wisdom had saved a kingdom from forces older than mankind. Paacha became a land of eternal lessons, where fear was not ignored but faced, and where the light of hope continued to shine through every generation. The people never forgot that courage, love, and the strength of the heart were the true sources of power, and that even in the darkest moments, hope could illuminate the path forward.